Welcome back, YouTube, and thanks for tuning in to Comic Statues Unleashed. Today, we have a glorious edition that really is a head above.
Who's the veiny ballsack?
We have the insane latest edition from Sideshow Collectibles of MODOK.
Well, whatever you do, don't blow him. He just keeps coming back again and again. Yeah!
MODOK, or formerly known as George Charlton, is one of Marvel's weirdest and most unsettling villains. Originally a technician for AIM, Charlton volunteered, or was coerced, to be transformed into a super intelligent being with an enormous cranium, wired up for psychic powers, telepathy, and computing. His body is very small compared to his brain, and he is usually seated in his Doomsday Chair, or life support mobility device, because his body alone can't support all the modifications.
Hauling that gargantuan cranium about.
Over the years, MODOK has appeared in many storylines, often as a villain who epitomizes intellect gone mad, hubris, and the dangers of unfettered scientific ambition. The grotesque in sci-fi horror is not lost on this character. He's less about physical power and more about manipulation, schemes, mental dominance, and sometimes cosmic or technological threat. So let's see how many sexual innuendos and suggestive clips we can cram into this video before all 5 of you around the world watching this tune out.
At that moment, I was 100% sure I was going to be molested.
Now, let's get into it. But first, some backstory on this obscure character who has battled the likes of Captain America and Iron Man, often as a technological threat or mastermind behind a conspiracy.
Yep, we're gonna teach that lady how to please a man.
The acronym MODOK stands for Mental Organism Designed Only for Killing. The name itself encodes his purpose. He was created not just to think, but to kill and to dominate. His creation involved painful scientific alteration. His physical form is sacrificed so his mind can have superlative power, emphasizing the theme of intellect at extreme cost. Without his life support mobility chair, also called the Doomsday Chair, he'd be physically crippled. The chair is more than a prop, it's part of who he is, linking dependency and power. Notwithstanding, he's not just smart. Psychic amplification, telepathy, mental control, computing power.
But if my calculations are correct, soon my nutsack will be a time machine.
Ideal villain for high-stakes threats that require more than muscle to overcome. His exaggerated features, such as his giant brain and small body, are unsettlingly artistically. They evoke the grotesque seldomly found in comic books. MODOK isn't purely evil for evil. Sometimes he's comedic, sometimes tragic, sometimes driven by ambition or self-preservation. That duality makes him compelling. Symbolically speaking, his massive brain equals over-intellect, but also vulnerability. His bodily weakness shows mind doesn't always guarantee invincibility.
There might be a lesson to learn from this if I were the kind of guy who could learn lessons, but lessons are not for me.
His reliance on machines, wires, chairs suggests themes of isolation and dependence on tools, identity fused with technology. Created by AIM, his story often revolves around the consequences of science without ethics. He's both product and critique of science for science sakes. For collectors, MODOK is a dramatic visual piece. His oversized head in contrast to the small body, the gold plating, wires, lab base. It's the kind of statue that dominates a display, especially with proper lighting.
Some roadhead to celebrate?
As we begin the review, the art box itself is one-sided with his image and oddly off-center weighted as the base is vertical to one side of the box. Still looks great. Unfortunately, mine arrived with heavy exterior damage to the shipper, art box, and even the exposed styrofoam. Somehow though, zero damage to the statue itself.
That's some glory hole humor for you. My jokes are what people show up for. The BJs are shit.
Once opened, we have just one simple layer. unwrapped, and we are greeted with the big toothy grin, as well as a remarkably small amount of pieces, only 5 in total. First things first, I need to tell you all, this is easily my favorite piece right now. I have zero connection with this character, but literally can't stop smiling and laughing at the sheer obscurity and audacity this piece elicits. The moment I removed the tissue and saw him, I started laughing. This is the piece for me that just elicits pure joy, and the fact that it's so impeccably well done is just a bonus. Sorry, I just had to share that with you. I'm having way too much fun with this guy.
He is exactly like you in every way. Except 1/8 your size.
Breathtaking. I shall call him Mini-Me.
Alright, back to the review now. We have the base and art sticker underneath. I have number 85 out of only 200 worldwide pieces. The base is as plain as can be, but does the job perfectly. A simple, industrialized metal floor. It does not distract or diminish any of the actual statue. Plus, it really highlights the fact that he is entirely suspended in midair. My personal opinion, though, would be that Sideshow missed a golden opportunity, as some lights really would have elevated this bad boy. And here he is in all his glory. One piece, fully assembled, and lightweight as expected, since he is fully levitating and only supported by a single cable in the rear. The paintwork, flesh tones, and wrinkles on this guy are outstanding. They really brought this piece to life and did justice to it. I particularly enjoy the teeth. They are simply perfect. Huge, well-colored, and seamless with the aesthetic of the statue.
Actually, Francine, I seduced him. I don't know why I wanted him, but I wanted him. There was no actual
Stan, no!
The chair itself is a brilliant gold, which contrasts nicely with the tiny purple appendages. Here, we have the only other pieces set to assemble. 3 cables, expertly detailed, and look incredible. As usual, we have the signature Comic Statues Unleashed 360-degree display and assembly video. Enter the mind of Marvel's most terrifying intelligence. Behold, the monstrous intellect, the grotesque genius. MODOK doesn't just show you a villain, it forces you to reckon with science, power, and the grotesque cost of being a super brain trapped in a golden chair. The Sideshow statue brings this Marvel supervillain to life in full, unnerving scale, a brain swollen beyond the limits of flesh, seated upon a throne of wires and scientific ambition. This statue stands just over 19 inches tall. The sculptors left no detail to chance. Every wrinkle, every hair strand, every crooked tooth is crafted to heighten the uncanny. The massive cranium looms, pushing the limits of what the human skull should contain. Below it, the small body, almost diminished, trapped in the glimmering gold chair that is as much a life support machine as a symbol of his dominion. Behind him, cables and wires snake from his chair into the lab base, as if the environment itself powers his mind. Over time, Tarleton lost parts of himself, his humanity, his body, leaving only the mind, wired tight with power, seated in the Doomsday Chair, looking out upon a world he deems both inferior and necessary to dominate. The palette to this piece is faithful to the comics. Harsh lighting will definitely reveal every texture, every imperfection, every sheen.
Stop it! This is why you keep getting molested!
Just to contrast the sheer size and impact that this piece carries with it, here he is positioned next to the portrait from the Gladiator Hulk maquette, a larger quarter-scale portrait.
Look at the size of that boy's head. I'm not kidding, it's like an orange on a toothpick.
This guy is gargantuan.
Well, that's a huge noggin. It's a virtual planetoid. Has its own weather system.
MODOK is more than a villain. He is a warning that intelligence unchecked, technology unbridled, ambition untempered, these can become horrors. The statue isn't just a villain's likeness, it's a physical representation of mind over matter, but also the fragility inherent in that imbalance. In the end, MODOK forces us to ask ourselves, What are we sacrificing in the name of progress? Is might measured in muscle or in brain power? This statue does more than just show the answer. It makes you feel the question.
She told me she was 18!
But enough with the philosophy. Now, what you're all really here for. Some cold, hard B-roll.
He needs a little something else. I'm gonna go blow this guy.
As a final closing thought, this piece is a true representation about what I love in this hobby. His excellence doesn't derive from canon or comic book fandom. He is, by all means, a C-level character at best that almost no one would know. He shines because of his concept and impeccable execution. This guy is a home run in my mind, and I'm honored to have it in my collection.
Damn, bro, you must get bitches. Still no bitches.
What? It is rare to have such an obscure character be commissioned, let alone to such a phenomenal degree, and I highly doubt they will make another. I honestly believe that many collectors will be kicking themselves when they realize how rare and awesome this piece is. But what do you think? Is this floating head worthy of your praise? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for tuning in, and until we meet again, keep your passion for collecting alive and your love for superheroes soaring.
He'll be crying himself to sleep tonight on his huge pillow.